Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for listening, watching another episode of the Stivers Show. I got my good friend Maria Santi with me today, going to talk all things law and medical. She is a whiz, and I think the only person I know who does what she does, and has a really awesome background, and has built a very successful law firm, which we'll go into. But Maria, thanks for being on the show today. Appreciate it.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, I always like to start. Why don't you, maybe tell us a little bit about your journey, into the law and what you're doing now.
So my journey into the law, I was actually a paralegal for 10 years before I became a lawyer, and I went to law school as a single mom, and I was actually working, so it was pretty tough, but I got through it. And essentially, right after law school, I went and I worked with a big defense firm, got a lot of experience, but I soon realized that I really wasn't happy doing that. I felt like I had a greater purpose. I had always been interested in medicine, and I did a health law concentration at Nova University. So I decided, hey, why not mix the law and medicine and health? Because since I did start pre-med when I was younger and I worked with a doctor's office, I had the reputation of knowing what I was doing with health insurance and medical bills. So my friends and family would always reach out to me and ask, what do I do with this bill? The insurance is denying this. And that continued throughout law school. That continued while I was at the defense firm. So one day I just said, you know what? They keep asking me these questions. It's obviously some recurring problem. Let me just open my own law firm and do exactly what I'm passionate about, which it's always been medicine and health. But again, I mixed it with the law just because my path changed because I was a young mom and got married young. So I said, let me open my own firm. And I called it exactly what it was, health and medicine law firm, focusing on helping patients with medical billing issues, health insurance issues, and patient rights issues. So I did that, and I started up. It was March 2018. I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no clients, but I just said, this is what I'm passionate about. I know that I'm able to do this. And I just started meeting people, letting people know what I did. And little by little, the practice did start coming together, and I built a clientele. My first client actually was a case that I won, and it was against Humana, and it became published law. I'm not going to go into the details and the technicalities, but I think that's significant because it was the first case I ever took. I have it in my case file as 0001. And little did I know that after a year, it would make a difference and change the law for Medicaid beneficiaries in the state of Florida. So then after that, I started building my reputation, got more cases, worked on another case against Sunshine Healthcare, actually, with appellate lawyer Morgan Weinstein. And we again changed the law, have a published opinion that made a significant change. So everything that I have done in my law firm, obviously we need to make a living and make money, but it's also purpose. So I have a purpose where it's helping patients, helping people that have healthcare issues at a time where they shouldn't have to be worrying about administrative or medical bills or anything that is going to distract them from their health. Same goes for doctors' practices. Sometimes they're trying to help patients. So I help doctors' practices as well, because insurance companies get in the way of patient care, for example. So we're like, okay, let's take this off your plate. And now I have a lot of legal actions against health insurance companies. And throughout my path, after about 2.5 years, I met Anthony Lopez from Your Insurance Attorney. He focuses on first party property, very successful, over 20 years experience. He had actually represented my aunt, and that's how I came to know him. And I went with her to a hearing for moral support. And then he sort of learned about what I was doing in health insurance. And since he is an insurance expert, he thought, I don't have this area in my practice. I would love to expand. And we talked for a little bit over a year, and I decided to come on board. So now I'm a partner at Your Insurance Attorney. I run the health and medicine law firm division, and we've grown the practice, helping more people. And I'm doing exactly what I set out to do from the beginning when I first started my law firm. So it's definitely been a journey that I say has been worth it. It's definitely stressful. Like every lawyer knows, lawyering is stressful. But I really feel like I'm making a difference, and at the same time, making a living. And it's definitely been a great balance joining Your Insurance Attorney, because it's like I am the heart that has like come in for the health portion, and basically it's let's do this together, and the infrastructure is here for everything that we need to do. So we're not only helping homeowners and other insurance people with other insurance issues, but also now patients that really need the help.
And the journey's not over. Journey's just
Oh,
begun.
exactly. Yeah, it's just begun. Every time I feel like, wow, it's so exciting. Like we're doing more and more, and it's really surprising sometimes to me to see how there are so many people out there that need this help that they just didn't even know that they had the right to go after their health insurance company, and they're just giving up, and they don't understand that federal law and state law gives them rights. So I definitely think it's a growing practice area, and people are learning that they have more rights, or not more. Let me clarify that these rights already exist, and they just didn't know. So it really is great to be here. Your Insurance Attorney is definitely helping educate the patients and the community about these rights. So I'm here also to help and make sure we take legal action if appropriate, of course. But it's definitely been exciting.
Well, there's a lot of I want to unpack from that, because there's some awesome stuff, and it's a great, it's a great story. And so we kind of, I started my firm a little bit before you, but we were talking before before we started filming that, we would run into each other a lot at networking events, like a lot of new law firm, new business owners do. It's just, get out there, hustle, meet who you can. And what I get asked a lot, or sometimes get asked, is, people will ask, how'd you start your law firm? What did you do when you started? And, how'd you get your first client? And I have no clue where my first client, I couldn't remember who my first client was, but, you kind of have the same story. Sometimes people leave a firm and they bring some cases with them, so there's a little bit of a cushion. I certainly didn't have that. It was just, hey, go, start it and see what happens, sort of thing. It sounds like you kind of had that same, and it worked out. Right. And again, but so many, again, people watching this, or listening might have that fear of like, hey, I want to do it, but where do I start? And I try to tell people, you just have to start. You just have to do it. Like, you can try to be as prepared as you want, but if you really want to do it, you're just going to do it. I don't know if you have anything to speak on that, because it sounds like, you did that same sort of thing. You just kind of made the jump. And what's unique, I think, is, we probably don't want to go into specific about your practice area, because it confuses me a little bit, but it's a very, technical area of the law, I think. And not a lot of, at least that I'm aware, not a lot of people do it. So it's not like you had mentorship necessarily, maybe you did, but, teaching you how to do it every step of the way. I don't know if that is accurate, but.
Yeah. So as to the first question, yeah, as far as starting the firm, it's the same thing you said. You just have to do it. There was so much fear. There was so much like a little bit of anxiety. Like, I have no clients. What's going to happen? I don't know. But really, I had this purpose, a mission. Like, this is what I'm setting out to accomplish. And you sort of have to just let go of trying to control everything and all the details. Obviously, I did have experience with my medical background, with working in the law for so long, being a litigator too at the defense firm. Like, I did have all that behind me where I knew the foundation of what I was getting into. So it was really just a letting myself be known. So I started letting people know what I was doing by either posting on social media, sending emails, and just really talking to people. And then, yeah, that's how I just started getting clients. And as far as the technical aspects of what I do, I really did not have a mentor other than the partners that I already worked with. As far as litigation, I have a good relationship with every colleague, every person that I've worked with. So I could call anybody and just ask them a question or life advice. I have been blessed with having people around me that I can go to for advice. So that was definitely something that I had to deal with. Um, but you have to jump. And I know I'm switching now because I was going to go into the technicality, but I want to say this because that's exactly what it was. It was like you have to jump. And I had watched a Steve Harvey YouTube video that says exactly that. You have to jump. And if you have something inside of you that is what you are meant to be, you have to express that and you have to go forth and take action in that direction. Because if you don't, nothing will ever change. And you gotta just have faith. So for me, it was not, I didn't think about the money aspect of it. Obviously, that's important too, but it was more the mission and the purpose guiding me. And then the money just came. And then obviously, I have to, when you work out a business plan, like there has to be some type of organization. So as far as what I do, just to clarify that, because I know even now you're saying, oh, I'm not really sure. So I focus on three different categories, I would say. So medical billing issues. So a person got a medical bill that's outrageous or improperly billed. So we look into the law and see, is there any violation here? And we address that with either the medical provider, usually mostly it's a hospital, and we deal with that. Or it may be that the insurance company didn't pay something they were supposed to pay. So if that's the case, then we go after the health insurance company. And that's where the bulk of my practice is suing health insurance companies when things are not paid. So that'll be assessed, either it could be federal or state law. And a lot of times they deny claims that they should be paying. I won't go into the technicalities of that, but it does happen a lot. So then we sue when that happens. And then a lot of times we do get recovery. They pay the bill and then the client no longer has these medical bills. And then the last thing is patient rights issues. There are a lot of patient rights that people have, for example, in substance abuse centers, or it could be also like mental health facilities where they're going for help. And a lot of times what happens is they are not seen as normal people. So I think they are not given the value as human beings that they should be given. And there are patient rights that are statutory that say you have to respect these people. So that's why I'm passionate about that, because every human being has value. It doesn't matter if you have issues with substance abuse or mental health, that doesn't make you worth less. Like, that's why you go to these places to get help. So when somebody gets in the way there, I like to make sure that we say, hey, you didn't respect my rights. We are going to hold you accountable for that. And then there's other patient rights issues that might come up, like with medical bills. Medical bills or hospitals, treatment issues. So that varies. But those are the three main categories: medical bills, health insurance litigation, and patient rights.
So you mentioned, purpose, mission, a lot. Is
Yes.
that is that new language for you that you've kind of felt like, hey, this is, or did you feel that before, starting out, like, and if there's a story behind it that you want to share, that, you really fell into it, like, that's why that is my purpose, my mission, or is that,
Right.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I would say that's something that I've always had inside of me. And it's always been since I was 9 years old, I wanted to be a doctor. So I remember thinking, I'm going to go to medical school. I want to be a doctor. I want to help people. It's always been something that has driven me. And then I did start medical school. I mean, pre-med. I started pre-med. Then, but I was married at 18. I had my son at 19. So my path just changed. And it was like that was always inside of me. So when and like I said, when I ended up going to law school, I'm like, I can mix the two and I can still help these people that need help with their health. So I would say, yeah, it's something that I have known since I was little. And I worked on a case once where I helped a little girl get a medication that she really, really needed. And the mom told me, I had shared my story about not being a doctor and that I wanted to be a doctor. And she said, well, you've done what all these doctors could not do for her. So for me, that was like confirmation I'm on the right path. So yeah, it's definitely something that has been inside of me. And that's why when I was at the defense firm where it's all billable hours and you are giving a service to clients, which is great. And you can do that, but that was not within me. That was not the motivating factor. It was like, yes, I love being a lawyer, but there's more here. And that's why I did what I did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and so again, something I think is kind of unique-ish is, you said you started your firm, health and medicine law firm, back in 2018, and then it kind of merged with your insurance attorney, which I think is, kind of neat, because I think a lot of like young attorneys don't think about that route, or don't think of that as a possibility, that there might be, like you said, um, he had been Lopez had been practicing for 20 plus years, very experienced attorney and everything. And, you have a newer law firm, and he saw such value in what you were doing that decided to, bring you in, bring your experience, bring your firm in as a partner, which is great. I mean, that's not too common. So I think it obviously speaks volume about you and what you're doing. But I think that's kind of something that maybe newer attorneys could think about, that, there's so many, I think there's so many different types of paths, that it doesn't have to be big law, solo. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with the law, and you were able to find a way to keep doing your passion, but, merge with him to bring in some more resources to help more people.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly how it was. And even our meeting him was not even planned. He just like saw what I was doing. And I did have some hesitation coming into it because I was thinking, oh, my brand, health and medicine law firm, all this, like I want to keep my brand. But at the same time, I thought, well, there's a point where you have to let ego go and think about the greater, not just the greater purpose, but also the greater outcome as far as, let's talk, I know financial is also a concern in all this, where you have to just think, well, I'm going to reach more people, probably be more successful. So I have to let go of this little limited thing that, oh, it has to be my way, or me as the face. Like, I just had to let go of that and realize that, yeah, now it's better. And in order to grow, you have to get out of your comfort zone. So I definitely had to do that. So I think, yeah, that's an option that I hadn't even thought about. And when I did think about it, I just thought, well, you know what, this is practical. This makes sense. Obviously, if you're going to partner with someone, it has to be someone that reflects your own values and motivations. Like Anthony Lopez, for example, he is super passionate about what he does, and that's why he is so successful. If you look him up, your insurance attorney, like you will see. I know him, he's super humble, super great person. And it's like, you talk to him about a case, he's so passionate. He's like, he's not even thinking like about the money. It's like, yes, it's great. That's part of the equation. But when he's talking about the case, it's like, there's just this passion to help these people and homeowners. And that really resonated with me because I'm the same way about what I do. So it was a good fit, where I may be like a little bit more idealistic. He's more like practical, like, and he looks at, okay, this is how it has to be, or these are the parameters, and just the operational part of it. So in considering options, you always have to definitely look for somebody that is a good fit for you.
Yeah, it kind of got me thinking of, I've been watching a lot of Shark Tank lately, and it's kind of like that. It's like these people come in with great ideas. It's like their baby. They've been working at it for so many years, and they don't want to give up 51% of their company because they're like, oh, but it's not mine. And it's like they don't realize, well, like, okay, it's not you, but you've been doing it for so many years and it's not getting anywhere. Like, bring on, a heavy hitter who can, kind of help you kind of get there. But yeah, you're only going to be 49% owner, but like, what's better? Would you rather own 49% of a excellent business or 51% of a, failing business sort of thing? Not saying that was your example, but like that got me thinking about just like with partners in general.
Yes, definitely. And it takes trust and faith, and you have to trust the people that you work with. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of it. You gotta, if you want to grow, you're gonna have to step out of that comfort zone. And sometimes growth entails having to let go. Yeah. I felt like that was my little baby. I'm like, I'm gonna let my little baby grow up.
That's awesome. Well, I know we're coming up on our time, and we went in a direction I don't think any of us really knew where we were going, but I think there was I think there was a lot of awesome stuff in this one. So, Maria, anything else you want to add? And then also, how can, if people want to get in contact with you, how can they, what's the best way for people to find you? And we'll put that in the show notes as well.
So I mean, as far as adding anything, I would say I would highlight also the importance of being knowledgeable about the work that you do, and um, just making sure the ethical aspects of being a lawyer are complied with. Because there's a lot of people sometimes that they want you to file a case, but I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense because there has to be a cause of action. In my area, there's a lot of specialty and unique things that can be developed. But I would say you have to be a little picky about who you choose as a client, because we have to make sure as lawyers that there actually is a legal cause of action under each thing that is done. So that's something, like I said, that I find a lot in my practice. As far as reaching me, I can be reached. My email is the best way. It's Santi, Santi at yourinsuranceattorney.com. The health and medicine law firm.com website is also has information about me and my background and everything that we do. So I would say those are the best ways to reach me.
Awesome. Maria, it's been fun. Thank you. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.